Hi, I'm Figment, and if you're still hanging in there with me, this is where it gets kind of cool. So, just a quick recap. We took one image off the internet, any image you would like. We took that one image and we split that image into multiple different file types. We took those file types and we imported them into Audacity and made waveforms out of them, stereo waveforms, of what some people would just say is generally just noise, or but clearly there's a difference between what I would call noise, and this could almost be in some senses noisy synth sounds. I don't know, because I mean I can hear so many things out of them, but that's where it gets cool. The important thing, or the bizarre thing, is you took an image and you created an audio file from an image. So and now in a sense you are hearing literally colors. That's a pretty weird thing, especially from anyone coming from a sampling background, where you're pulling an audio source from somewhere else. I've never pulled an audio source from an image. That's bizarre to me. So anyway, you do this to all your images, and like I said, 8 times out of 10, you're probably going to get something completely, well, white noise or some type of noise, something unusable, or a lot of the same types of general static or white noise. So a lot of stuff in the same area, but for those 2 out of 10, every 2 out of 10, I'd say. So I mean, very infrequently, you'll get something really unique like this. You'll get something like that. Pretty, pretty unique. Now, sure, some of these sounds could be made with a synthesizer, and that's cool too. I mean, I could make a bunch of videos about that. Like I said, this tutorial is more about experimenting with an unusual idea, more or less than it is creating, certain sounds or certain patches. It's really that unique idea about, like I said, hearing colors. And I've never heard a color before, but I guess this would be the closest thing to it. So, let's jump into Reason now, because now, well, yeah, sorry. When you have your audio files, hopefully this should be a no-brainer. When you have the audio files you want inside of Audacity, after you found the 10 or 20, because that's the thing. Let's say you chose those 4 images, like I said, and you made 10 different copies. You have 40 images. Out of the 40 images, you might get 6 sounds that you liked. 4 sounds that you liked out of the 40. So when you have those 4 sounds, or let's say you do, they come up with 100 different files, and you have 15 sounds you like, you can just go to export or export selection. So if you only want a selection of an audio file, you want the whole thing, it's up to you. Export them, and now you should have 10 or 15 samples from images. 10 or 15 unique samples. Now, let's jump into Reason. So, there's an interesting idea. How about creating an entire arrangement, creating a song, or anything, just creating music with samples, with images, with samples that came from images. Pretty weird. So what I did here is, I'll just show you real fast. All of these are not synthesizers, they're all NNXTs. Just with the with a sample, with an audio sample in it that I took from. Let's even play some of them that I took from, or that I got in the same fashion that I just explained to you. Oh shit! That I just explained to you in these past 3 videos. Well, that's looping. It should have just went like this. There you go. Um, what else here? Come before, just to show you that there are no Thors, no Maelstroms, no subtractors, no synthesizer whatsoever. These samples are just gotten it exactly from the technique I just showed you. Um, so all exactly that way. Now, when you have those samples, you can throw them in an NXT, you could throw them in a Nano, you could throw them in whatever you want. I mean, from that point on, it's up to you how you want to tweak and sweeten those sounds. You know, you could put it through a scream, equalize. I mean, the world is yours now, because now it's an audio file. You can do whatever you want with it. So I'll just play this little quick demo file I made, because just to give you just one example of any number of things you can do using this technique. Now, this song is made entirely from samples that I got using the synthesis method I just went over. The only thing that is not from that setting is, let me just close some of this, are the drums and some slight vocals that I pulled from a library I have. So the drums are just Abstract Kit 3, which you can, it's just a factory uh, factory sound bank, Abstract Hip Hop Kits, Abstract 3. So stock sounds, which is also pretty interesting, because I did a video maybe 3 or 4 videos ago talking about stock sounds, and could, you know, do you need to go out and get a library pack from this person, or that person's library pack, or this company's refill? Is it necessary to make, a decent song? And not really, not in my opinion at least. Um, I am just using a factory setting right here. Um, now does that mean you should never go out and get a refill or anything? No, there are some pretty cool refills out there, but really it comes down to your imagination and what you're willing to experiment with. The other sound that I used that was not made in that method, like I said, was just some vocal snippets that I pulled from a sample library that I have. But outside of that, every instrument you hear, every instrument in the song besides um, the drums, was made, were pulled from images, and I just think that's really, really cool. And I'm definitely gonna try and sit back and see how many songs, and really stretch this idea out until I've got a better handle. Oh, geez, we're almost out of time here. All right, I'm not gonna split this up another video after this. I'm gonna split this one more time, but that'll be the last video. I don't want to turn this into a 10-part series. So I will see you on the other side.